Yes. Hi guys, I am here to welcome you to the 2023-2024 school year with our before and after care program. This is our parent meeting about information on everything. Now this is recorded, so you won't have the option, obviously, of asking questions. But after you watch this, if you have questions, you're more than welcome to shoot me an email or Mindy or Emily Sweet. But yeah, we'll get right into it. So again, I'm Katie Sarvis. I oversee all the programming for before and after care and SoCo and summer camp and all of that. But for this purposes, it's before and after care. So I help out both sites and morning and afternoon as well. To my left here, I have Emily Sweet. She is my right-hand man in a sense. She also helps out with stuff for both before and after care, both sites as well. But she's more on site, more so than I think I will be this year. But again, we're typically there pretty often, most months, most days, and everything like that too. We have two different sites for the afternoon care. Afternoon care at Montrose, which Cassingham kids will go to, is going to be overseen this year by Isaiah Drury. This is his first year overseeing the site, and he has been involved for, I think, almost like four years now in general with some of that aftercare programming, but he's been at summer camp as well for many years. And then to my right, I have Campbell Davison, and he is overseeing the Maryland aftercare site. And then together they help out with our morning care site at Montrose, which Maryland Cassingham kids will be at and will bus out from. So that's kind of the spiel of that. We're going to go ahead and share the screen here, and so that you can see our parent handbook. You guys will get this through email from our camp admin, Mindy, and you guys will see all these things that you guys will be able to have on hand as well. Hopefully we don't have any new additions to the handbook at this point. Hopefully they have all been made before this. But yeah, so no further ado.
Yeah, so the first thing we want to talk about is the communication. It's very important to communicate with us if your child is attending aftercare or not attending aftercare that day. So if they will not be at aftercare, we need to know by 1 p.m. each day. So the email that you're gonna go with is absent@bexley.org. Again, that's just for absences, not for if they're attending, we already know they're attending. And then if we do not get an email by 1 p.m., we just assume that your child is coming to aftercare. So we're going to be expecting them to show up to aftercare. And if you plan on picking them up and you didn't let us know by 1 p.m., you can meet them at their spot that they're meeting us at. So if they're a Cassingham kid, they'll be at Cassingham gym. If they're a Montrose kid, Montrose at cafeteria, and a Maryland kid, Montrose or Maryland cafeteria. And then if you can also give us a call to let us know if you are planning on picking them up at their door. Maybe you happened to email their teacher and forgot to include us. You can always just give us a call really quick and let us know that you're picking up your child from their door instead.
Okay. Again, yeah, that email absent@bexley.org by 1 p.m. is very important. We also like to make sure that you guys are talking to your kids' individual teachers about their whereabouts for after school as well as us. So it's at least helpful that the teachers know, so that if for some reason we missed your email or you guys missed your side of the thing of trying to get that email in by 1, at least your teacher knows, so that we can at least have an adult tell us where your child is at. We prefer having adults tell us in general that information, because yes, kids might have an idea and know, and they're really responsible, but again, it's better that an 18 or older person is telling us the exact location of your child.
And then just to specify the 2 different emails. So if it's an absent email, it's absent@bexley.org, not the camp admin@bexley.org.
Okay, yeah. All right, so morning care is again over at Montrose Elementary, and Maryland and Cassingham kids are also going to be at that location. It's from 7 a.m. until the start of school, but for Maryland, we're probably doing a lot today. But for Maryland and Cassingham kids, they will be bused from Montrose Elementary over to their school locations. How that kind of looks is that the bus will be there to be picking us up. We have 2 counselors that will go with a group of kids. And the bus will drop off the first round of kids and 1 counselor over at Cassingham Elementary. And the bus then will continue on with Maryland kids and that other counselor and drop them off at Maryland Elementary and make sure that the kids get into the schools at the right time. Most of the time, the kindergarten teachers are meeting us out there. Which is really great, really nice. And then the teachers will walk the kids to their classrooms. If for some reason the kindergarten, especially classroom kids, are not being walked to their classroom by their own teacher, we will make sure that we as counselors will walk them on their, especially the first couple of days, to their classrooms so they know exactly where they're going. They don't feel nervous or anything like that. Or if it's your child's first time at the school and you are just looking to have a little more extra support for your child, just let us know and we'll make sure that your child will get to their classroom in the morning. With Maryland and Cassingham kids, they have to be at Montrose no later than 7:45, since obviously they have to be bused over in specific times so that Cassingham has plenty of time, then also Maryland kids have plenty of time getting into the school at the right time. And if it's gonna be a rainy day too, we try to accommodate for rain and how congested some of the streets get in front of the schools. So again, just trying to make sure you're aware of what time you're dropping off your child. When you drop off your child, no matter what kid they are, no matter what school they go to, they need to be dropped off at the Remington door at Montrose. They can have food already with them and they can eat there at our site, or most of the time Montrose kids will have more than enough time to buy lunch from Montrose at 7:45 in the morning. But with it being 7:45, when they open up their lunch, that means Cassingham and Maryland kids don't have
lunch.
Oh, breakfast, I'm sorry. To not have, 7:45 is the lunch, gosh, I said it again. Breakfast lines open up, so Cassingham and Maryland kids will have to either eat way before from home food, or Cassingham might have time when they get to Cassingham. Maryland kids have a rougher time of having that time to use their school accounts for their breakfast foods. Are we having? Okay, let's check the little. Gotcha. So yeah, when you drop a child off, typically we'll have a staff member probably by the door. If for some reason we don't, then you will use your code. The first couple of weeks, you will definitely use we will definitely have staff members there because the codes that we use are entered in through the schools. And sometimes it takes them a little bit of time to enter those into the system. The person who does that doesn't work over the summer. So we just give it to them this week actually. And they'll take the time to put those in as well. If you ever sign up for a program later on, again, it does take time for the schools to enter that info in because there's just a lot of things they have to do in there and to make it work. So until your code works, it's your kid's student ID, and we'll go through that a little bit later. But until that works, you can always use the phone numbers that will be listed on the doors to help have staff let you guys in if ever you did. That's kind of the spiel of morning care, unless I forgot anything on that. Montrose kids as well will be, especially kindergartners, will be walked to their classrooms for the first times for the first several weeks as well. But yeah, so over at Montrose Elementary, Isaiah, do you want to talk about how kids will get to and from for Cassingham?
Yeah, so every day the Montrose kids will come down. They'll be let out 5 minutes early before everybody else. They'll come down to the cafeteria where they'll meet their counselors. And then from there, we'll get them washing hands, eating snack, and then we'll take those kids outside. On the flip side at Cassingham, we will be going in, we'll be getting the kids from the kindergarten kids from their classrooms for the first couple of months, making sure that they're aware of where they're supposed to go. But everybody else will meet in the gym at Cassingham. And then once we get all of our numbers over there and all the attendance filled out, then we will start the bus back to Montrose, where we'll get those kids snacked and then get them outside as well. For indoor days, we do have a variety of activities. We have couple different rooms that we can use for those days. We have our movie room, the gym, and then we have our homework room that we can open up. And our homework room will be open every day for anybody that needs to do homework. But again, just communicate that to us so that we can make sure those kids are always in there getting their homework done and everything. But yeah.
Yeah, nice. And then at Maryland,
So over at Maryland, other students also get out 5 minutes before everybody else, for the end of the day, but also 2:55. They'll walk straight down to the cafeteria where their counselor will sign them in. Once their whole group is signed in, they'll go wash hands, get some snack, usually play with some games while we're waiting to go outside. And then once everybody's had snack, we're all packed up. On nice days, we'll go outside and usually spend the rest of the day out on the playground. On days where it is not so nice outside, we'll split our time between doing different activities, art, etc. in the cafeteria, and doing some sort of sport or movement activity up in the gym. For sign out at Maryland, I will usually be the person with the iPad, but whoever has the iPad, that's who you need to come see to sign out. We do ask for the first couple of weeks at least that you bring your ID with you, just to make sure that we know you are the person that's supposed to be picking up your child. And also, if you do need to get into us at the end of the day, you'll go in through the Remington door right next to the teacher's parking lot. There will be the codes on the side of the door that you can enter in, and you can come down to us. If your code is not working for some reason, there will always be a phone number posted on the door that you can contact us through, and we can let you in.
kind of just on both of those, for the first couple weeks, even though we know you, from summer camp and whatnot, we still ask for you guys to have your ID on you because we should still keep it into practice to make sure for the first couple weeks that we're doing that for all parents, that everyone's seeing that it's happening. Just so that maybe another counselor might, sign you out because they have the iPad, and whatnot. So, and if they don't know you because they're a newer person, then they're going to ask for your ID. Just to make sure that you are the registered person to, or the assigned person to take them out of, our program, basically. Homework, again, I'm gonna say this even more clearly too. Homework is something we allow the kids 100% to do and always have the ability to do it. A lot of the time, there's not that many kids that need to do it or want to do it. So it's more of the parents asking us to make sure that they do it. So if you guys letting us know will really, really help us figure out that those specific kids will need to do their homework with us. And we have plenty of people who are in college currently that are in the education world, so they know how to help the kids through all this stuff. And if not, some parent or some counselors are already out of college, but they still know how to do all that stuff and whatnot. So just make it known to both of these guys, no matter what set you're at, that you would like your child to do homework with us specifically. If you're gonna have them do homework with us, remind yourselves that with all the transitions that happen like right after school, usually about like 4 o'clock is probably the earliest time that we can probably set aside time to start homework room. So if you come really early to pick up your child for any which reason, then at that time, they probably won't have had much time with us to do their homework. So just kind of remind yourselves with that. Pickup is by 6 every day. And we'll kind of go into the payments and all that stuff, but making sure that you're picking up before 6 o'clock for all of our facilities. While we have kids, we try to make sure that, I don't know where it's going with that, I'm not gonna lie. So payment plan in general, so everyone will be paying, most of the people will be paying if you come for, if you're set up monthly, then you will be paying on the 1st and the 15th of every month of that monthly fee. And if for some reason one of those dates fall on a weekend, then it will come into like the Friday before the Saturday or the Sunday, then it'll be the Monday after, if that makes sense. It's all written right there in the handbook as well about how that works. If you're signed up to be every month on Tuesdays and Thursdays that you're going to be coming in the PM, then we will charge you the whole month worth of Tuesdays and Thursdays on the 1st of the month, and that's just how we do that process. And we do that for every month that you're registered. If you're an occasional day person and you're not really signed up for many days at all, if any, besides the fact that you just need a random day to help out or have us help you out, you just need to contact camp admin through email and just make sure that you're giving us at least 2 days in advance that you need that day to be covered. And then we will charge you guys as soon as we possibly can for that kind of coverage. We just need to make sure that we have room and we have a ratio for your child for those things. For 6 o'clock pickup, if you guys go over 6 o'clock time frame, then what we end up doing is if it's 10 minutes after, we charge you guys $10, and then for each additional minute is $1 a minute. Only if it's a constant thing that we're starting to realize it's a habitual thing for a family or a person in general. If you are doing something that happens and it's out of nowhere, you're never late, you usually pick up at whatever times and whatnot, we will make sure that we're not going to charge you guys or anything like that. Don't worry about that. But if it's an everyday situation, then we have a conversation with you saying that at this point we're going to start charging you for those type of cancellation or for those type of pickup fees.
Also, I apologize for having technical difficulties with the mouse here.
Not sure why.
Good.
Might have to go up there and
Might have to step up to the side up here.
thanks, Campbell.
Yep.
As he gets over there and fixes all that too. We're gonna talk about more of transportation. So as Isaiah had made mention, Passingham kids usually get transported from from Passingham to Montrose. And if it's a nice day out, we will walk. And if there are kids that have issues with walking that far of a distance, we will have our little white bus that will still travel over there. And they will help out with getting the kiddos that have issues with walking. It's too much of a strain for them and whatnot. But we typically, most of the kids, and every year they have a great time with this, they do end up walking and they love it. If their book bags are too heavy, we'll notice which ones are, and then we will also put those on the bus with the kiddos. We have a behavior policy as well. We are always asking parents to make sure they understand it and read it within our parent handbook as best they possibly can. And it is to help make sure that we are just having a structure for us to have a system in place to make sure that our program is becoming a safe environment at all times for everyone, but also hopefully it is a structure where we can help your child stay on course to stay within our program. We don't typically use this very often whatsoever, but it's mainly for when kids get a little more physical than they should be, or they're really having a tough time following our rules and policies and stuff like that within our programming. Sometimes our program is not meant for everyone, and we understand that, and we do our best to make sure it helps out with every single child possible. We do everything in our power to make sure that we don't have to ask you guys to leave our program based off of this policy by any measures and any means. It's very rarely we ever have to do that. But we might ask that to help a restart day for your child, we might ask you to do a day away or a week away and just kind of go off of that process. Again, we do not like using this. We don't want to use this. We do everything in our power to prevent us to needing to use this. So we will find behavioral charts if we need to. We find plans for your child to try to make them succeed as best as possible. What we want to do. Another thing that we have to talk about too is health and safety. Obviously COVID-19 is still a thing, and we are still abiding by CDC rules on that. We've also gone along with the ruling of the schools, since we are part of, not part of the schools, but we do kind of have the kids come from schools to us. So we like to make sure that we're doing our best policy for all that, that's as cohesive as possible. I apologize. But making sure that you're not sending your child to a program knowing we know that they have symptoms of anything and everything that is on this list, any sort of communicable diseases at all, that if they have a temperature, that you're not giving them like Tylenol or something that's reducing their temperature, and then when the medicine wears out and their temperature spikes up again. We just want to make sure that everyone is staying healthy and happy as best as possible, and that that your child's not, they're also happy too, because when they're not feeling well, they don't really want to be with us, they want to be with you guys anyways. So just making sure that you're kind of helping out with that process as well. And jumping back up a little bit, and I apologize. The biggest thing that we need you guys to do is making sure that you do your best at communicating to us when your child's not going to be there for aftercare. Because if we don't get information from you and then we have on our list that your child's supposed to be there, then we end up having to do a bunch of things to try to make sure we know where your child's at, because that's the most important thing. They're coming from schools, they're not coming from you guys. So for them not to show up is kind of a big thing for us. We do our best in our abilities to make sure that we don't miss anyone at all. But the first thing that will happen, if that does happen, if your child does not show up and we have them on the list, they're supposed to be there, you guys will be getting a call first and foremost, because you might know better than we do where your child might be. And it was a mistake on your end or a mistake on our end or whatever, but it just helps that process faster. It's not meant to make you guys panic by any means, it's just to get to you guys quicker, because your child might have contacted you during school and then you forgot that you had said something to them, and then you're at work and you're busy, and it totally makes sense that it slipped your brain to tell us, but maybe you told the teacher or something like that. And then once we get in contact with you guys, or if we don't get in contact with you guys, we keep trying, A, but B, then we go around the schools and we look for the teachers of your child. We all know what teachers your children have. And we go to the secretaries, we go to the principal, we go to playgrounds, we look anywhere and everywhere as possible. And for some reason, all of that comes up with we can't find your child at that point, and we're still in communication with you, letting you know what's going on and everything, and you have no ability, then of course we use the police as well. That's the next thing. We want to do this as quickly as fast as possible so that we don't have much time to lose to try to figure out where your child has gone off to. Bexley is a walkable community, so with all the options a child has to go to at the end of the day, walking home themselves because they're confident and they know they can, or they know they're not supposed to, or just a friend's mom is talking with them in the hallway or something like that, or like right outside the school. Oh yeah, sure, you can come over, and they just forget that parent forgets to tell you that they have them. Anything and everything can happen under the blue moons here. So we always want to make sure that we contact you guys first and foremost and try to get a hold of where your child is at, basically. And sometimes they're just dialing in the hallways typically, so it happens. But yeah, so it's kind of all of that. Am I missing anything that you guys can think of at all? Oh, keypad. Oh, yeah. Thank you. So the keypad that you guys will use, it's on the last page of the document here. It looks like the first picture. It looks black, nothing's on it whatsoever. Once you press the button start, the numbers will randomize on the second picture. And they will be anywhere and everywhere. Some of the keypads are more clear than the other ones, and you can see the numbers better. So it's very difficult. The sun's hitting them too the wrong way, so I apologize. I have no control making those better looking. I apologize for that. It will be your child's 6-digit ID number. And if you don't know that, we will have papers for you once we get that information back from the schools. Until then, we will have staff at the doors to help you guys in at all times. And then once you press the 6-digit number, then where that red arrow is, on the black no number at all, like next to the 9 or on the second page next to the 4, that's the enter button. So you press start, numbers randomized, you press all the numbers you need for your code, and then you press the black blank bottom right number panel, which is a pound sign for your keys. Yes, the pound key basically, and that's your enter button. Then the lights below it, there's 4 lights there. One of them I think only gets bright and it's green. Once it's green, you should hear a click too of the door, and then it will open and you're able to get in. And again, if you have any issues with any of that, our staff can help you through it. If grandma's picking up and is gonna have issues, tell her just to call, or grandpa will totally understand it's a new technology and stuff. So yeah, we'll always have staff help you, walk you through those if it's difficult by any means, or if you're not understanding it, it's completely fine. It happens every single year. Again, the numbers will be on the,
I was gonna say, can you talk about the landline?
Yeah, the landline at Maryland is the best number to call for inside use because it's a landline and it doesn't have any issues getting service. The Maryland cell phone has a lot of issues in the basement. So landline is best to use when they're inside. Montrose, the cell phone typically works in that area. Sometimes we can answer it and then it cuts off every now and then. But we usually have a counselor and can see the door at Montrose, so it's not hard for us to recognize someone's trying to get in most of the time. But the landline is really important to use at Maryland when you're inside. Other than that, I think pretty much it. Just make sure your student's teacher knows that they are in aftercare. It's always good to hear from you guys to tell them, and if they have a special schedule, it's always good for that as well. Other than that, I think that's good, yeah. Thanks, guys, for coming by. And if you have any questions, you can email myself, Katie Sarkis, at BACpack.org, or you can email Emily Sweet at esweet@BACpack.org, or our beloved Mindy Walsh. She's behind the scenes of the camp admin email, and she emails back really quickly usually. So yeah, thanks so much, and we'll see you guys later.